Maybe if you swept faster, I would not have to step around your mess.
She threw coffee at the woman who once held a scalpel steady enough to save a life. Every morning for 7 years. And she never looked down long enough to see the surgeon's hands holding the broom. Corinne Ballard walked the same Charleston sidewalk before dawn every morning. Same route, same broom, same bandana tied tight at the nape. The strokes were too precise for ordinary cleaning. The hands moved with a rhythm that belonged in a different room, under a different light. 7 years earlier, those hands worked under surgical lights. Corinne Ballard was a trauma surgeon at Charleston General. Board certified, published, respected. She led a team of 6, 18-hour shifts, never lost composure, never lost a patient she could save.
I made a mistake in the dosage protocol. It cannot be traced to me. Your name was on the final sign-off. If this come out, the hospital loses accreditation. Every surgeon here loses standing, including you. Take the suspension. 6 months. I will make sure you are reinstated quietly. I give you my word.
She stood in the corridor calculating the cost of truth versus the cost of silence. Both prices were enormous. She chose silence because she believed it would protect more people. 6 months became permanent. The reinstatement never came. The phone calls stopped. And a surgeon became a street cleaner because the man who broke the promise still ran the hospital. She moved to a small apartment with her 2 children. Zara was 5. The baby was not yet born. She swept streets because the streets did not require a reference.
I got an A on the biology exam, highest in the class. Again.
She watched the future she lost grow inside her daughter. Every biology grade, every science fair, every time Zara said the word doctor, the wall held and the tears did not fall. And every Monday through Friday, the woman whose husband had destroyed Corinne Ballard's career walked past the same corner carrying a coffee cup and a life built on what that destruction made possible.
You missed a spot. Again.
She bent down, picked up the napkin, placed it in the trash bag, did not look up. The wall held. From a window above the street, an old woman watched every morning. She knew the truth. She had promised not to tell. That promise was becoming heavier by the day.
7 years I have watched that woman walk past you like you are nothing. One day the truth will stand up and she will be the one sweeping.
I made a choice, Miss Dorothea. I do not get to unmake it.
You made a choice to protect people who did not protect you. That is not justice. That is sacrifice.
At night, she sat on the floor with her son in her lap. A picture book about doctors. The questions a 5-year-old asks are the questions that cut deepest.
Mommy, this book says doctors fix people. Did you used to fix people?
The caduceus pendant sat under the shirt collar. Hidden, not removed, never removed. 7 years of wearing the symbol of something that had been stolen but not erased. A journalist had been pulling hospital records for 4 months. Not on assignment, on instinct. Something about the timeline of the Ballard termination did not add up.
The dosage error was flagged by anesthesiology. The final sign-off was Ballard's. But the protocol change came from the director's office.
She found Corinne on a Tuesday, standing on the same corner, holding the same broom, the surgeon's hands visible to anyone who looked closely enough.
Dr. Ballard, I know who you are. And I know you did not make that error.
I do not know what you are talking about. Excuse me.
I will be at the coffee shop on King Street tomorrow at 8. If you change your mind.
The wall held, but the foundation shook. Someone had said the name out loud on the street where the broom lived, and the name sounded different in the open air. The next morning arrived on schedule. Same coffee, same route, Same woman walking the same sidewalk, past the same corner where the same street cleaner swept the same cobblestones.
Honestly, do they not have machines for this? You would think the city could afford better than this.
The surgeon's hands gripped the sanitation tool. The irony lived in the tension of the fingers, nowhere on the face. The wall was 7 years thick. She showed up at the coffee shop at 7:58, sat in the corner, both hands around a mug. She had decided to show up, but had not yet decided to speak.
I am not here to force anything. I am here because a patient died and the wrong person paid for it. What exactly do you think happened?
Victor Steele changed a dosage protocol without board review. The error killed a patient. Your name was on the chart, his was not.
7 years of held silence broke at the seam. Not dramatically, quietly, the way a levee cracks. One thin line in the surface, and then the pressure does the rest.
He told me it would be 6 months. He said I would be reinstated. That was 7 years ago. I signed the papers because he said the hospital would collapse without him. I believe protecting everyone was the right thing.
He did not protect anyone. He protected himself. And his wife walks past you every morning like you are furniture.
Something's shifted in the face. Not grief anymore. Something harder, more aligned. The surgeon's precision returning. One hand turned palm up on the table like preparing for an instrument. The journalist found the colleague who had been in the theater that night. The man who had watched the sacrifice happen and stayed silent because a friend asked him to.
I was in the theater that night. I saw the protocol change order. It came from Victor Steele's office, not from Corrine. I should have spoken 7 years ago. She asked me not to. She said the hospital needed him. She protected the institution that destroyed her.
The article took shape at night. Every sentence was verified twice. Every source was willing to go on record. The ground was about to give. The hospital administrator sat in an office holding a 7-year-old file. The termination she had rubber-stamped. The timeline she had not questioned. The sleep she had been losing.
I processed the termination paperwork. I knew the timeline did not add up. I signed it anyway because Victor told me to.
A defense attorney who measured cases by whether they were worth winning sat in a cramped office reading a hospital incident report and felt the particular weight of the ones that mattered.
7 years, falsified records, and a director who let someone else take the fall. I will take this case.
Tuesday morning, same sidewalk, same coffee, same route. The last time this walk would carry the same meaning, Margot slowed. Something ahead, a small crowd near the corner, a journalist with a tablet, a headline that rearranged the morning. The push broom leaned against the wall. The olive bandana was still in place, but the expression beneath it carried something different now. Not grief, resolve. The published article carried a photograph of a younger Corinne Ballard in surgical scrubs. The same face, the same cheekbones, the same hands. Different uniform. Victor Steele saw the article at 7:42 a.m. By 8:15, his phone had stopped ringing with support and started ringing with questions.
This is a disgruntled former employee and a tabloid journalist. I will not dignify this with a response. Then perhaps you would prefer to dignify the 3 signed depositions, the original protocol change order, and the administrator's sworn statement.
The professional mask cracked. The color drained from his face. The dark blue eyes shifted from confidence to calculation, and then to the beginning of something he had never experienced from this side. Margot stood on the sidewalk holding the phone. The screen showed a photograph, the face of the surgeon, the face of the street cleaner, the same face. Every coffee cup, every napkin, every word. 7 years of casual cruelty aimed at the woman her own husband had destroyed. The collision could not be stopped.
That is the woman I have been walking past every morning?
Victor sat alone in a dark office, watching 20 years of power collapse. The phone had stopped ringing completely. That silence was louder than any call.
You told me she was incompetent. You said she was dangerous. I threw coffee at a woman you destroyed.
I did what I had to do. If the hospital had gone down, we would have lost everything.
She has 2 children. She sweeps streets. And I have been treating her like dirt for 7 years because you lied to me.
Something permanently changed behind the hazel eyes. Not knowing did not erase the damage. It only revealed how easily cruelty grows when people never bother to look. The hearing moved quickly. 3 depositions. An original protocol change order with a timestamp. A sworn administrative statement. The entire structure of a 7-year cover-up was finally exposed.
The protocol change was entered from your terminal. The timestamp predates Dr. Ballard's sign-off by 4 hours. You changed the dosage. You buried the audit trail. And you let a surgeon lose her license for your mistake. I was trying to protect the institution. You were protecting yourself. The institution was the excuse.
Both hands rested flat on the table. Both eyes were empty. A career ended in the silence between 2 sentences. The institution he claimed to protect would now rebuild without him. Raymond sat inside the hearing room. 7 years of hidden guilt came out in 3 sentences. He should have spoken sooner. She should never have needed to ask him to stay silent.
She asked me to stay silent to protect the hospital. I should have protected her instead.
Corinne sat in the back row. A dark jacket over a white blouse. The caduceus pendant was visible now. Both hands were clasped together. The composed wall was still standing. The ruling arrived. Full reinstatement. Medical license restored. Records corrected. And slowly one hand rose to touch the caduceus pendant as if confirming that it was finally real.
Full reinstatement. All records corrected. Your license is restored, effective immediately.
7 years of silence broke in a hallway outside the hearing room. One hand covered her mouth. The other held the pendant tightly. The tears came when she heard her name return. The next morning, Margot stood on the same sidewalk. No coffee, no jewelry, no performance. Just a woman standing where the damage had happened every day for 7 years. Every step felt heavier than the last. She built the words carefully, knowing they would never be enough, knowing they still had to be spoken. 2 women stood on a Charleston cobblestone corner at 7 in the morning. One had swept those stones. The other had walked over them. Both finally understood who they were.
I did not know who you were.
You did not need to know who I was. You only needed to see that I was a person.
Every morning I walked past you. Every morning. And I never once looked.
Nekem not strange, Graina. I can't stop prenda to burn to this.
Can you forgive me?
She allowed the question to breathe. The surgeon's precision controlled the silence. Some answers need space before they arrive.
Forgiveness is not something you ask for once. It is something you earn by how you treat the next person you think does not matter.
The reckoning came from hearing a truth that could not be denied. Tears fell onto a plain white blouse on the same sidewalk where coffee had once fallen. Corinne walked away from that corner for the final time. The broom stayed behind. The posture of the surgeon slowly returned with every step. She stood inside a hospital corridor wearing surgical scrubs for the first time in 7 years. The same hands, the same precision, the same person the system tried to erase. The scrub sink, the running water, the hands lifted beneath the stream, the position her body never forgot. 7 years of sweeping had not taken away a single moment of surgical skill. Zara walked beside her mother through the hallway. One hand held the backpack strap. The stethoscope keychain moved gently with every step. 7 years of silent belief had finally reached the right place.
I knew it would come back. I always knew.
You carried the stethoscope on that backpack for 5 years. I saw it every morning.
I put it there so you would remember.
Everything held inside for 7 years finally released in the arms of the child who never stopped believing. A stethoscope hanging from a backpack zipper. A 12-year-old whispering, "I put it there so you would remember." That evening, the family sat together around the kitchen table. Otis on her lap, Zara beside her. The apartment was still small, still warm, but now it carried 7 years of survival that had finally become a new beginning.
Mommy, are you gonna fix people again? Like the book said?
Yes, baby. Mommy is going to fix people again.
The same hands, the same precision. The operating room welcomed the surgeon back like a place that had been waiting for her return. She visited the corner one final time, not to sweep, not to mourn, only to stand where her endurance had lived and let that chapter finally close. Some evenings she sits near the harbor and watches the light change, not searching for answers, just allowing peace to fill the spaces that 7 years of silence had created. There is someone in your life right now, someone you pass every day without noticing, someone whose hands carry a story you have never taken the time to understand. So let me ask you something. Have you ever treated someone as less than they truly were? And if the truth about who they really are arrived tomorrow, would you survive the reckoning? Here is what Corinne carries now. First, dignity is not conditional. The broom did not reduce her. The silence did not erase her. She was a surgeon before, during, and after. Second, the child who carries a symbol of who you used to be is not remembering your loss. They are building your future. Listen to the keychain. Third, forgiveness is not one single moment. It is a standard you choose for everyone who comes after. If this story reached something honest inside you tonight, I am glad you stayed until the end. Hit the like button so this reaches someone else who needs to hear it. Subscribe so you never miss the next one. Tell me in the comments, who is the person you walk past every day without truly seeing? I read every single one. Share this with someone who needs to hear it tonight. One tap, that is all it takes. Sometimes a single story at the right moment can change the way you look at the person standing beside you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening all the way through.